Hi, I'm Kaylee, and today we're doing the fourth section in the Your Best Reading Life workbook. Today we're actually going to be setting our reading goals. So I have created a 15-page workbook to help you live your best reading life. It's available for free on my website at booksformks.com. It's a PDF file that you can print out, and then you can fill in the journal prompts and fill out the lists and do the activities and set goals for you to live your very best reading life. So in the last few videos and in the first part of the workbook, we've gone through all the emotional work of figuring out our reading story, our reading identity, and facing some obstacles that we might have to our reading habits. And now we're finally ready to actually set our reading goals for the coming year. However, I kind of want to change our perspective a little bit before we set those goals, because I think that if you come at it a little bit from a different direction, you'll have a lot more success when you're actually setting those goals. So first, what I want to do is a little activity called Your Wins and Wishes. So first we're going to look at our reading wins. What are some reading accomplishments that you've done that you're really proud of? Maybe you've read Shakespeare. Maybe you've read a really big book that was just humongous and you're like, yes, I did it. I read the whole thing. Or maybe it's just the number of books that you've read. Or maybe it's a favorite book that you shared with someone and they loved it and you were like, yes, I gave them the perfect book recommendation. Maybe you built a bookcase, or I don't know, maybe you've written a book, whether it's published or not. That is definitely an accomplishment. What is some reading accomplishment or just some reading aspect of your life that you are super proud of? So whether this win is a big thing or a small thing, or it's really a major deal, or maybe it's just kind of insignificant, but it was significant to you, we're going to pause the video just for a minute so that you can write down your reading accomplishments, write down your wins. We've bolstered our self-esteem and we're super proud of ourselves for all of our reading accomplishments. Now we're going to look more towards the future of our reading. Now we're going to write down our reading wishes. What are some things that you want to accomplish with your reading? Is there a particular book or genre that you've always wanted to read and you kind of just never got around to it? Is there a specific reading experience that you would like to cultivate? Like maybe reading outdoors, or reading to your children, or just buying a comfy chair to read in. Maybe you want to start writing more book reviews, or start a book club. Maybe it's something as simple as you want to make your own bookmarks. What are your reading wishes? It can be something practical, it can be something ridiculous, it can just be your fantasy of reading. Whether it's something big or small, whether it's something really important or kind of insignificant, go ahead and we're going to pause again so you can write down your special fantasy of reading wishes. Your wins and your wishes, we're going to turn those wishes into concrete goals. And we're going to develop a plan for making those into a reality. One thing that we want to keep in mind as we're setting our goals is we want to set a goal for joy. We want to enjoy our reading. We are not setting this goal to impress anyone. We are setting this goal for ourselves. So as with all good goal setting, we want to make these goals actionable. We want them to be specific so that we can actually put this plan into motion. It's also a good idea to give each goal a time frame when you want this to be accomplished. And then we're going to examine what habits we need to establish, what small steps do we need to take to accomplish that bigger goal. And you want to be as specific as you can about those little steps that are getting you to that bigger goal. One of the things that I really like to do with my goals is to try to merge my reading habit with some other habit. That can make your reading habit even stronger if you merge it with something else. So for example, every morning you get up and you have your cup of coffee. If you read while you're drinking that morning cup of coffee, then you've combined two habits into one stronger habit. And of course, you want to include your why, your motivation that we did in the previous section. So why do you want to accomplish this specific goal? So for example, you might say, I want to cultivate a culture of reading with my family. And I'm going to do that by reading aloud to my children before bed every night. And I'm going to be an example to them by setting aside time for my own reading so that my children can see that reading is important. And twice a month, we will take regular trips to the library together as a family to discover new books. So that is a goal that has the why, it has the how, it has specific time frame, it has specific habits that you're going to merge together. So incorporating reading into the bedtime routine of the children is putting two habits together. And setting aside specific scheduled time for your own reading. I mean, that is a very nicely thought out goal that hopefully would work. But of course, you have to find something that works for your particular lifestyle, your schedule, your family, your reading. And there is a whole list of examples of different types of goals and different types of motivations that could be inspiring for you here in the workbook. I'm not going to go through all of them because there's a lot. But if you look through the workbook there's a lot of examples of different types of goal setting. And we have room in our workbook for you to write down 4 different reading goals. You could do less than 4, really. I really wouldn't do any more than 4 goals, because then you're overwhelming yourself, you know. If you just have one goal, that is excellent. If you maybe had a couple of different goals, like you want to read a certain amount of books and you want to read a certain genre, you know, so you've got 2 goals that you can work on. When you're setting your goal, there's a place to write in what the goal is, why it's important to you, what reading habit you're going to cultivate, and your action plan, your schedule of how you're going to accomplish it. So we're going to go ahead and pause the video just for a minute so that you can write down some of your goals and your motivations and that reading plan. Always, of course, keeping in mind that you are setting these goals for joy. So please leave a comment down below and let me know, what are your goals? What are the goals that you set for yourself? What is your reading habit? What is your action plan? I would love to be able to see what are some of these goals that you're setting for yourself for the coming year. And it would be great for all of us to be able to look at each other's goals and maybe get inspired by what other people are accomplishing. So our next video is going to be all about tracking your reading and how to stay motivated with those goals. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and remember, the right book in the right hands at the right time can change the world.